Hi there. Today we are going to work on determining if things are a function or not and finding the perimeters and the differences of perimeters. So let me pull up my screen so we can start on the first part. Right here it says determine if the data represents a function, explain why or why not. Remember, if something is a function, that means that the x values cannot repeat. So in this first one, let's look and see if the x values repeat. I have a table, and here is my x and here's my y. I label those, and then I'm going to look at the values in the table. So the values here in the table, do any of these values repeat? Do they happen more than once? They do not. So for this one, this data is a function. Take a minute and look at the we do and decide if that is a function or not. I would have labeled X and Y, and I would have looked at the X column. Do any of those X numbers repeat? They sure do, right here and here. This is not a function. Okay, so I'm going to erase this. And let's look at the other type of problems that we could see. Right here, when we are looking at graphs. Now, the rule is still whether it's a function or not, it's still that the X numbers can't repeat. But what's easier with graphs is if we look and use the vertical line test. That means if I draw a vertical line, does it only go through my data once? And the first two I did, yes, only goes through once, but look at this one, ding, 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 ding. It goes through 2 points. It goes through 2 points. And since that happens, it is not a function. Okay, so if it crosses through the function or the points more than once, it is not a function. Try and do the other one, the we do over here on the right. Pause the video and then come back and see how you did. Okay, so if you go and draw a vertical line, it only crosses the data once. Since it only crosses it once, yes, it is a function. Make sure you have that down. I'm going to erase my board, and then we're going to go to finding perimeter. All right, pull this over here. All right, simplifying expressions and finding the perimeters of 2 figures, the difference of the figures. Remember, when you're trying to find perimeter, that means to add up all sides. So perimeter, add all sides. Well, let's look at this first example. Let's go and let's make sure we label all sides. In a rectangle, the opposite sides are congruent. They are the same. So I have 10x plus 9. The left and the right will be the same, 6x plus 3. So now that we have it all labeled, let's find out how many x's and how many numbers we have. So I'm going to circle the x's. How many of those do we have? 10 plus 10 plus 6 plus 6. That is going to give me 32x. Then your constants, 9 plus 9 plus 3 plus 3. That is 24. There's my perimeter of this figure. Pause the video and come over here and do the we do this figure over here to the right. The figure to the right, if you've already paused it and tried, the opposite sides should be labeled the same, x plus 7 and 3x plus 13. Now, add your x's up. I'm going to circle them so I don't forget any of them. And the perimeter here is 8x and then 13, 13, 7, and 7. Add those up, and that's plus 40. Hopefully that's what you got. Now, On the next part, it says, what's the difference in the perimeters? You need to remember that difference means to subtract. So I'm going to take the first perimeter and I'm going to put it in parentheses, 32x plus 24 minus what's in the second, what the second perimeter is, 8x plus 40. Now let's simplify. Well, drop the parentheses out of the first, 32x, oops, let me fix that. 32x plus 24. Then this minus right here, be very careful here. This is a -1. You have to multiply and change the sign of everything behind it. So it should change to -8x and -40. Now that we have that, now we need to simplify. 32 minus 8x gives me 24x. Then 24 minus 40 is -16. This is the difference in the perimeters. Okay, make sure you have that written down. I'm going to erase my board. If you didn't have it down, go back and pause the video and then write it down. So let's look here at the next one. Oh, let's see. It went crazy again. Let's see here, my screen. All right, let's see if I can get this up here. All right. Here we go. Now, let's go through and find the perimeter. If it'll stay steady for me. Let's find the perimeter of the first triangle. In this case, when I have the triangle, all the sides are labeled, so I don't have to do anything like I did on the last one. I can just, I'm going to circle all my X's and add those up. So I get my perimeter here is 2 plus 3x plus 7x, which gives me 12x. And then 8 minus 2 is plus 6. That's the perimeter of the first triangle. Take a minute, do the same thing on the one on the right, on the we do, pause the video, and then come back and see how you did. On this next one, you should have taken 5 plus x plus 6x. That would have given you 12x. Then you would have done -1 plus 3, which is +2. That's what you should have gotten for your perimeter on the second one. Okay, so next it says, what is the difference between the perimeters? So I'm going to take the first part, 12x plus 6, subtract the second one, 12x plus 2. All right, the first part just comes down here like it's written without, just drop the parentheses. Remember, this right here is a minus sign. This minus sign is the same as a negative, so I'm going to multiply everything by -1 and change the sign of all that back there. So I'm going to get -12x minus 2. So now to simplify, 12x minus 12x, they cancel out, they go away. That makes 0. That's fine because I have 6 minus 2, and my answer is 4. That's how you find the difference in the perimeters.